Linguistics is the scientific study of language. Phonetics, the study of speech sounds. It analyzes how sounds are produced and perceived. Articulatory phonetics, this focuses on how we produce sounds. It examines the movements of our tongue, lips, teeth, and other vocal organs. Acoustic phonetics, this analyzes the physical properties of speech sounds. It studies the sound waves created when we speak. Auditory phonetics, this explores how we perceive speech sounds. It examines how our ears and brains process sound waves. Think of phonetics as a science of speech. It helps us understand the physical mechanisms behind language and how sounds are produced, transmitted, and interpreted. Phonology is like the music of language. It studies how sounds are organized and used in a language. It's not just about individual sounds, but how they work together to create meaning and patterns. Phonetics is like understanding the individual notes in a musical scale. Phonology is like understanding how those notes are combined to create melodies, harmonies, and rhythms. Phonemes. These are the basic units of sound that distinguish meaning in a language. For example, the sounds P and B are phonemes in English because they differentiate words like pat and bat. Allophones. These are variations of a phoneme that don't change the meaning of a word. For example, the teeth sound in top and stop are allophones of the same phoneme because they are pronounced differently but don't change the meaning. Phonological rules. These are the patterns that govern how sounds can be combined and how they change in different contexts. For example, in English, the S sound at the end of a word can be pronounced differently depending on the following sound, e.g., cats versus dogs. Phonology helps us understand how sounds interact to create the unique sound systems of different languages. It helps us see the patterns and rules that underlie our spoken language. Morphology is like the Lego blocks of language. It's the study of how words are built from smaller units called morphemes. Morphemes. These are the smallest meaningful units in a language. They can be single words like cat, run, happy, or parts of words like ing, ed, un. Free morphemes. These can stand alone as words like cat, run, happy. Bound morphemes. These must be attached to other morphemes to create meaning like ing, ed, un. Morphology helps us understand how new words are created and how words are related to each other. It's a fascinating area of linguistics that reveals the structure and complexity of language. Syntax is like the grammar of a language. It's the study of how words are combined to form phrases and sentences. It's like the blueprint for how we construct our sentences. Phrases. Groups of words that function as a unit within a sentence. For example, the big red ball is a noun phrase. Clauses. Parts of a sentence containing a subject and a verb. For example, the cat sat on the mat is a simple clause. Sentence types. Syntax categorizes sentences based on their structure, e.g., declarative, interrogative, imperative. Word order. Syntax defines how words are arranged in sentences to convey meaning. In English, the typical word order is subject-verb-object, e.g., the dog chased the ball. Syntax helps us understand how sentences are structured and how language is used to create meaning. It helps us see the underlying rules that govern how we form our thoughts and communicate them to others. Semantics is like the dictionary of language. It's the study of meaning in language. It explores how words, phrases, and sentences convey meaning. Think of it this way. Words are like the entries in a dictionary. Semantics is like understanding the definitions and relationships between those entries. Here's a breakdown. Lexical semantics. This focuses on the meaning of individual words. It examines how words are related to each other, e.g., synonyms, antonyms, hyponyms. Sentential semantics. This explores the meaning of sentences. It analyzes how the meaning of a sentence is derived from the meaning of its individual words and their arrangement. Compositionality. This principle states that the meaning of a sentence is determined by the meanings of its parts and how they are combined. Ambiguity. Semantics examines how words and sentences can have multiple meanings, leading to ambiguity. Semantics helps us understand how language is used to represent the world and how meaning is created and interpreted. It's a crucial field for understanding how we use language to communicate ideas and thoughts. Pragmatics is like the social etiquette of language. It's the study of how meaning is influenced by context and social factors. It explores how we use language in real-world situations. Semantics is like understanding the literal meaning of words. Pragmatics is like understanding the intended meaning, considering the context and the speaker's intention. Context. Pragmatics considers the surrounding environment, social situation, and background knowledge of the speaker and listener. Speaker's intention. It analyzes the speaker's purpose for using language, their attitude, and their relationship to the listener. Implicature. This refers to the unsaid meaning that is implied by the speaker but not explicitly stated. For example, saying, "It's cold in here," could imply a request to close the window. Speech acts. Pragmatics examines different types of actions we perform with language, such as making requests, giving commands, or asking questions. Pragmatics helps us understand how language is used to achieve specific goals, how we interact with each other using language, and how meaning is shaped by social factors. It's a fascinating field that explores the dynamic and nuanced nature of human communication. Linguistics is a broad field with many subfields. These core areas provide a foundation for understanding how language functions and how it shapes our thoughts and interactions.